This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages, right here on #WeAreMovieClub. I am Camerai. Salutations. I am conversation ready. I'm also barely alive, so that's kind of the energy that we're going to get today. Just being honest. That's a good example there. I wish I could cough on cue like that. That'd be awesome. It'd be awesome! No movie source Monday tonight. Birdie has got family stuff going on, so it is what it is. I don't have the energy to force myself to take over that right now. But hopefully we get some conversation started about maybe why people don't go to the damn thing anyways. I don't know. People show up. It's an event on Rabbit. I'd like to see more weirdlings there. Make it a true weird movie club, brother. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Come here. Come here. Come be on camera. Be a kitty. The weirdest thing for him to respond to me talking to him like that. See, it's a rooster. There's a rooster. Why are you pushing on my face? We watched Antman, didn't we? Didn't we? How much did we spend on it? Huh? 50 whole cents. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. You're so cute, Ginger. Say hi to the camera. Stop escaping. So we watched Antman, and I'm a huge fan of perspective. So when, we have something like it's a normal world, but someone's tiny, or it's big looking down in a normal world, I get really interested. I don't like giant robots per se, but I especially like small. I really like Tinkerbell. I know that might be a weird thing to come out of my mouth, but when I was at Disneyland, it's honestly one of my favorite things there was the little forest where Tinkerbell is, where you go to take her picture. I stood in line. I was just I just wanted to go through the thing, and I just left. I'm pretty sure she took a look at me, and she was like, oh, I don't want to hug him. Because actresses, I don't know. It's a job. It's a job somebody has to dress like a hot pixie and sit in a tiny giant forest of grass blades and flowers and stuff. Take pictures with people. I don't know. The world's a weird place. And I started the stream over in Gaming Division. I'm trying to get rid of it, so my attention is drawn. So I could bring up the show notes for Antman. That might be a good thing. I swear, I'm just false started this like 3 times. We no longer need the Age of Ultron notes. Antman. I don't get why everyone laughs at this. Like, the movie laughs. I don't think the comic laughed at the word Ant-Man so much, but the movie laughs at it a lot. People laugh at it a lot, and I really think they grew disrespect for their own movie here, and I don't get it. I really don't. He's not a real hero. I get some of the reasons why people don't get into this, because it's not necessarily until the third act maybe, and then there's one big scene. It's not him superheroing against other supervillains and stuff. The first act, he fights a safe. And to me, that's really interesting, because it's oh, yeah, you got the kegs and locks and everything. And he drills into it and pours water into the damn thing. And then explodes it. Using no combustibles. I found that impressive. I found that interesting. I like heist, robbery, or burglary type things, because the intricacy that you need to take that over is fascinating to me. It's not necessarily a problem. Whereas people are oh, he's not even doing anything with it. We're the big reveal, I think probably the second act by then. Is because it's really close. Where he starts testing out the suit, and he's trying it out, and he's doing the escape from the jail. Those scenes where he's small, to me, that's fantastic. You're this big going through a world that's 100 times your size. Everything's a danger to you. Now, part of what makes the Ant-Man suit special, because a lot of people don't see that, especially kids, is that he's still a 200-pound, 5'8" man, whatever size Paul Rudd is. So he still has all that momentum and strength. So if someone steps on him, he can push back, and like to the point where it can really hurt someone because of the amount of force being put on it. So there's some math there that's going to alienate people as well. I like it. I like this movie a lot. I'm just openly biased for Antman. I totally get that maybe nobody wanted to watch it. And it is what it is, but I'm a fan. And Scott Lang has quips like on a Spider-Man scale. Like I had a list once. It's like you put these fuckers in a room, and it's gonna be a long night for whoever's not them. Hawkeye, comic book Hawkeye, not movie Hawkeye. Spider-Man, Ant-Man, and there's one more. There's one more really quippy guy. But you saw how he was in Civil War. He just talk. But Scott Lang and Hawkeye and Spider-Man, I'm losing my mind. There should be at least one more that really stands out. I don't know why I can't figure out. It's not Daredevil. I'll give you that. It's someone in New Avengers, isn't it? I don't know. But I had a point. Where's my notes? Give me my notes. I really like this. They really play with the physics and science of it all. Like the training montage is an obstacle itself. Like if you look at literary references and whatnot, like you have certain things. It's man versus environment, man versus man versus self. There's a lot of really like man versus self here. Hank's character is complicated because in the comics he's like a renowned alcoholic and wife beater. It's bad. It's not a good storyline. Hank Pym as the what is it? What are the things called? It's whatever across his suit is called. Yellow Jacket? Yeah, no, maybe that's not what the suit's called in the movie. But Hank Pym got his start as Ant-Man, but I think his suit was yellow. I could be wrong. Maybe it was a red suit and he changed to a yellow suit later on. So maybe that's when he became Yellow Jacket. And then Scott Lang gets the red suit later. And then eventually his daughter Cassie doesn't grow up and gets it. She gets it at like 14 when she joins the Young Avengers. Hank Pym's a very complicated character to like play with, and they dumbed him down a lot. But he's got animosity with the Starks. He doesn't really like the Avengers as a concept, and he's trying to work on a small independent scale where he has control. That's his biggest thing is control, and that's part of why he lost his wife. Now, it could very well still be that his wife escaped from him. Like, she took the suit, went subatomic, did the mission, got out, and then just never came back to him. That could have been a thing that happened, and we'll have to see when we hit Ant-Man and Wasp, because I think at the end of that movie, Scott Lang and Hope will find her mom. I think that's what's going to happen. But there's a lot of other stuff to set up, and we have to get through talking about this one. Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is amazing. I'm not saying he's curing cancer. I'm not saying that he's the giving out like 4K TVs to children, but he is a funny fucking dude. Oh, Deadpool was the other quipster. No one quite quips like Deadpool. Dead quip. But Paul Rudd's pretty on the spot on camera, live improv funny, and they probably did some great writing here for him, and he probably punched it up a little bit on his own. I would believe that if someone told me that was true. All the weird places to see Paul Rudd start out, like this movie starts with him in prison. Of course, he's getting out. His buddy picks him up. They reconnect. He gets caught up on everything, and it's a whole new world that he's rolling into. And we learn that like his buddy's gone through a bunch of stuff, but it's not necessarily that we're seeing like how disconnected Scott is from his friend. We're seeing a representation of how much the world has changed from one guy's perspective while Scott was gone. And then Scott brings up his daughter. We can apply that to his daughter because he's been in prison for a couple of years, and his daughter's very young. So yes, she misses daddy, but maybe she has the right perspective on it. Maybe she doesn't. We really don't know. It's hard to tell because she's so young in this. She likes her dad. She likes this ugly little bunny thing that he gets her, and we don't know if it's because he got it for her, so there she must love it because she doesn't want to make her dad sad because she's the type of character to do that, or if he still knows her so well despite everything that's changed that he knows that she likes weird shit. Because you see her little expression is just, her immediate reaction is, it's so ugly, I love it. I don't even know where you find something like that. That was fantastic. And the little girl nails it. And Judy Greer, phenomenal actress. Kind of wasted in this movie, if we're being completely honest. She's being relegated down to nothing but a house mom, really. Like, she doesn't have any moment where she stands up. This is really a boys' movie, other than Hope. And then Hope is playing the boys' game, if we're being completely honest. I really think, like, when it comes to her and Scott's relationship, she'll take the alpha role. I can't say she's going to take the masculine role, because that's not what it is. But she'll take the roles that are traditionally masculine, and that I could see that being part of the banter in the second movie, where he has to deal with feeling emasculated with a powerful woman, some trope like that. It's very much what I would imagine they do. Sorry. Now I'm just picturing him in Civil War. I like Antman. But he gets out and he tries to go straight. He goes to a shitty job with Baskin Robbins. There's a whole nonsense thing there that happens. But of course, he can't sustain life like that. He has to do better. He has to get by. And so he wants to use the skills he has because no one's respecting his legitimate skills. So he's forced back there. This is a great commentary on like what it is to be an ex-con and get out of prison and how people treat you, whether or not you're a violent person or what. So even the people that like you won't keep you around, which is kind of fucked up. I always said that if I ever got a chance, like that wouldn't be the reason. Like I deny somebody. Now. There might be other aspects of them that are related, but it's like no, you killed somebody. And apparently you were pretty randy about it in this video clip right here. It's still on YouTube, buddy. I can't have that be me. So these nice people are going to show you out. So that's... You gotta make the calls as you gotta make the calls, but like I still think it was bum rap. It's Baskin Robbins. He's handing out ice cream. What are you gonna yell at him for like larcening ice cream? You know how much ice cream you got to do to get larceny? I think larceny's over $10,000 worth. Shit job at Baskin Robbins. You can't even have that. It's fucked up. Fucked up. Now if you've got the door pounding down to get. For other people trying to get that job, maybe. Like, I got 14 other people ready to go right now. I can give them a call. They'll be down here within the hour, and we can, I'll put them on the line. But, I don't know. He's a good guy. He's a smart guy. I think he could figure out stuff. Hell, he could probably fix the machines and stuff when they go down. You wouldn't even have to, you'd save probably thousands of dollars in maintenance just having that guy around. Yeah, Scotland could come work for me. But Hank Pym, that's the whole reason, one of the whole reasons, Hank Pym actually goes for him. So, I mean, that's where we get our movie from. They have the whole heist thing where Hank supposedly sets him up for him to break into his place. I get why Hank relates to Scott. It's all about the father-daughter relationships that they both have. Um, so he sees the good aspects of him in Scott, whereas he saw the parts of him that he was proud of in Cross. And then we saw where that led to egomaniacal douchebaggery. I was really hoping that'd be more centered. Whatever. So I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, we get through all the past safe stuff. Dick move on Hope getting him arrested, but it gives us another opportunity to see how the suit works. Like I said, mentioned earlier, like when he first tries out the suit, he's on this weird adventure. He's like falling through floors, nightclub that's playing in the middle of the day because it's New York, and things like that might actually happen. Let's see. Hope. The airdrop to the Stark facility. That was fun. It's an Avengers facility now, and like if you were paying attention, you could have called that pretty easily. Now, I don't know. It's still just a warehouse, right? Like I don't think it's like a lab that Tony's using. He's doing all his stuff in his personal laboratory because that's what it's there for. His personal laboratory is big enough to house an army of friggin' Iron Man suits. I think he's up to like Mark 10 or Mark 62 at one point. So at least 50 suits. We don't count some that have been destroyed. And then I'm pretty sure Jarvis can print any of those suits. And print and assemble them. So I'm pretty sure Cross knows, like, as soon as... Where is it at? Oh, yeah, so Cross comes over. Okay, yeah, so it's the whole fight. Falcon actually whoops some ass. I'm kind of upset with him that he just pulled guns out and started firing on Scott, but it's like, fuck. What are you going to do? You got to do your job, right? So... like when they finally get back with the tech and everything, Cross is in for Hank's house. Cross is going to kill Hank, but Hope's there. And so as soon as he calls Hope, when he leaves Hank's, and Hope lies to him, that's where he knows that she's no longer on his side. So he has to compensate for that. He's trying over and over again. So it's really interesting to see someone who's supposedly so smart try to deal with that. And then we have the heist, which is the major part of the movie. And I think this is why most people don't relate to Ant-Man. Is that the heist is the big scene. It's not the battle afterwards. It's leading up to the battle. Like, that's the big act. That's where Scott rules, is like doing his burglary stuff. Like, Ocean's 11 that shit good, and then he's put in a situation where he has to fight, and he overcomes it despite not being the best fighter. I'm not saying he can't fight. I'm just saying he's not. I think, like, without the suit, like, he's not a fighter. Like, the suit's the only thing that gives him any kind of advantage, because he can, and it's not even like really offensive. It's shrinking away to throw them off focus, and then he grows big a lot just to throw punches, or to gain the right angles and whatnot. So it's all about being smart with Scott. He's not the guy that just rolls in there and like blows everyone away. He's not Vision. And if we had a Vision movie, I think everybody would hate it, because Vision is more than that. That aspect of him, like, they just want to see laser face everywhere. That's what the people want out of Vision, and that's not what he is. And that's what they keep doing to him. They just have him sit back and do nothing for exceedingly long periods of time, and then he shows up and lasers shit with his forehead. The Vision is smart first. Like, that's definitely what it is. He is... I don't know. And then like his phasing is a key ability. Like, because if he stays phased, you can't really hit him. Unless you hit him at a certain frequency or something like that. And then you can just reach in everyone's chest and put them to sleep. It's ridiculous. He's such an overpowered character that's so underutilized. But like I still think like a movie with him, you wouldn't get all these badass things that you get. And that's Scott or Ant-Man has the same problem. So when he is fighting Yellow Jacket or Hornet or whatever it is, the suit that Cross is in, that guy has all the flash and thing that everybody likes. So I'm willing to bet a lot of people watching are actually rooting for the bad guy because the bad guy has all the cool shit. But the good guy has the moral high ground. The good guy, or Scott, has justice on his side. He's trying to save the world by stopping this madman. And I think people just don't care because, I don't know, maybe I'm just tired and cynical right now, but people tend to care about like their own wants and needs for like spectacle versus like wanting to get behind a hero. And Scott Lang is a hero to his daughter, to his daughter's family, to the world and the Pims, and the Avengers when it comes down to it. I had a couple bullshit moments I wanted to point out. Falcon's goggles are bullshit. I really don't think they would be able to see Scott. I think they'd be able to detect movement, and he'd be able to look over there, and maybe even zoom in, but he wouldn't actually be able to be like, oh, there he is. There's a 2-inch man over there. No. That might be generous saying that he's 2 inches. I mean, you know what the rules are when you say, hey, baby, you want 2 inches? It's actually like half an inch, right? Let's see. The helicopter scene is fucking ridiculous. Is absolutely ridiculous. He's like popping around, like there's bullets flying everywhere. I have no idea how Cross gets the suit on at all. Like, and that, and then they get the suits on, and then they get locked in that fucking briefcase. And then, like, they're falling from the sky, and they happen to land in a pool. That briefcase should have been the death of them. They should have smacked around that and inside that briefcase enough that, like, they really had a head injury or something. And then Cross immediately goes, like, full supervillain, like, when he gets out of the pool. Like, does this dramatic burst out of the case, out of the pool, lands, and then does this dramatic hover across the pool to menace the family. Like he's got to be a Nazi Aryan bastard on top of everything. It's just weird. So, and then again, this movie is lots and lots of fun. There's so many good scenes in here if you're willing to get behind it. So Cross decides, he loses his mind, trapped in a bug zapper of all things. Baxter shows up and tasers Scott. I had to think about it because so many people say the wrong thing. Tasers Scott and takes him away. So Cross, of course, goes after Cassie. And the fight in that room is so funny. He's like throwing pieces of train at him. And you got to think, too, it's literally like just as if I take my toy and I throw it at you. Look, I mean, they're in full suits. They're not going to put each other's eyes out. So you get like this like real tension buildup for it. And then it's obviously nothing. Because it's just a toy train. Until it's giant size and taking up all the volume. Now, in theory, though, here's the thing, though, is like, because it's the same amount of molecules spread out over a bigger volume, that Thomas the Tank Engine would be like nothing to pick up. You would just go over and like pick it up and see if you can get the leverage on it and drag it out of the house. But yeah, just the moment where like Cross forgets all that, because that's the idea, is that like you've built up all this tension over this battle, and then even the guys in the battle forget that like, it's a fucking toy train. So he's like, and it just hits him and falls off the track because it just hit a 200-pound man. It's not going anywhere. So okay, so there's another bullshit moment. It's like Scott throws a disc at him, and this is how the train engine gets big, and then Cross actually deflects it somehow. That'd have to be the luckiest thing ever, because the whole point of it is that when it hits something like his arm, that it shrinks or grows, whatever it is, and he hits him later, so it can't happen to him. So I'm assuming that, like, I don't know, is this gonna work? Sure. So like if you've got a thing here, and so this is the side. I'm assuming if that hit, then it would bounce, and it wouldn't be a problem. But and if you hit it flat on, then like maybe then it works. It activates like a button. But of course, like he has to go subatomic, like he's been told not to do over and over and over again, and then he finds the way out. And of course, that leads a huge answer to a big part of the mystery given earlier in the movie, what happened to Mrs. Pym. And I want that answer, and I feel like it's going to be 3 more movies before we get that answer, but it's possible. I really think by the end of Ant-Man and Wasp, we'll at least have a lead to follow. And it'll be Wasp Origins or something like that. That could very well be a thing that happens. The giant ant part was cute. The fact that Cassie kept it as a pet was interesting. The fact that Scott and Baxter get along well is funny. And if they keep to the comics at all, Scott never really wants to go back after his ex-wife. He loves Cassie, and he wants to be her dad, but he never really wants to go back to being her mom's husband. So there's every chance that Baxter and Scott could get along well, and just Scott's like, hey, you take care of him here, I'll take care of him there, and it'll be awesome. If they were to drag out Civil War correctly, I could totally see Baxter pulling a gun out and being like, you're not supposed to do this anymore, you gotta put it down, and then just having that moment where he's like, fuck it. It's like what am I doing here? Like, I would love to see that moment of reconciliation on a normal, unpowered cop. I think that'd be really good. You see that sort of thing in Toxin in the comic, because Toxin is the baby of Carnage, which is the baby of Venom, which is the symbiote that came, I guess, from Mars or Moon or whatever, and did the black suit for Spider-Man. So a couple generations later in the symbiote family, whatever, he gets attached to a cop, and so it's a cop who's just trying to do the right thing, and he tries to teach Toxin. Man, I gotta get off here. Like, how to be good and all that, and like Toxin just isn't truly having it, but he adjusts to directing his playtime towards people that his host agrees with. So it is interesting to see those same type of dilemmas of like, hey, you can't be doing this, but who are we kidding? You're not going to stop. We can. The other way to do it is to lean into it, so that we don't have to embrace it per se. We don't have to support it, but we don't have to stop you either. And that's really kind of what vigilantes in this world kind of are. They're a force of power that is. It doesn't mean that like you have to go out there and give Captain America a power bar. You just have to not be in the way when he's going after the guy trying to destroy the city. I'm fading. I really am. I think I barely made it through the end of this at all. I really like the end of it though, where like they didn't even like go downstairs. They like went out the door about 2 feet, and Scott apparently grabbed her and started kissing her, because that's what they made it sound like. And then Scott's like, he puts it on Hope, which I think is funny in general. Like, how dare you do this thing that I've wanted since the first moment I saw you. And then Hank's like, you're full of shit, and like, oh yeah, it's a real good, concise example of the banter Paul Rudd's capable of, and I really like it. So can't thank you enough for hanging out and watching me talk about Ant-Man. Next week we're gonna do Thor. I'm gonna be completely honest because I want to watch something with Natalie Portman in it, and she's in there as a cool ass scientist. And I'd like to continue this Marvel movie trend for a little bit longer, because I think we can get through Thor and Iron Man and maybe the first two Captain America movies. So we could probably get another month of this, maybe. I gotta figure out if we actually ever did Doctor Strange. I don't know. But, yeah. But thanks for watching. #WeAreMovieClub. If you see anything else we're up to, go to click the annotations, and they'll take you to our other channels. Thanks for watching.